Hello there, and welcome to the VenturaRockSpot. I'm Pam Baumgartner, not only host of the VenturaRockSpot, but I'm owner and operator of VenturaRocks.com. I also write the music scene column for the Ventura Breeze newspaper, and I host a radio show on KPPQ-LP out of the CAPS Media Center, playing mostly artists out of the 805, as well as artists who come here to play. And it's appropriately called, by the way, the Pam Baumgartner Music Hour. The Ventura Rock Spot, by the way, is the brainchild of Michelle Hoover of GWC Productions, and she's behind the scenes pushing the buttons and producing the show. Joining me now, my very good friend, Tommy Marsh of Crooked Eye Tommy. Tommy, welcome to the show.
Hey, thanks for having me, Pam. It's nice to see you. What a great show this is.
Thank you so much. Where are you at right now?
So I'm sitting in the backyard, just hanging out in Ojai, California.
And it's beautiful weather to do that right now. We're right in the middle of the COVID-19 pandemic, in case you're watching this a couple years ahead. So we're very homey and very comfortable at home now, aren't we?
Yeah. Well, yeah. I sure miss playing, though. Oh, my gosh. Yeah.
And that's pretty much that defines who you are, because you play live so often and around town, and everybody knows you, not only as Crooked Eye Tommy, but you're solo and having other people join you. You got to be dying a little bit here.
Yeah, it was pretty brutal. I did 122 shows last year. So I have done like 4.
Yeah.
Well, no, I take that back, because January was busy. We went to Memphis and competed in the IBC, and so that was all great. And then at the end of January, just like, died. Yeah. So
give us the version of your musical background and how you got together with Patty and started the band.
Well, Patty and I have been playing. It's my brother, Patty Marsh. We've been playing together off and on our whole life. So that part of it just naturally happens throughout our life. We've played together, and then we go our own ways, and then we get back together. So. But we grew up in a small town in the Central Valley of California called Porterville, and we were in a musical family. My father was a guitarist. My older sister and brother both play guitar. My mother was a concert level pianist. So we were kind of doomed to do this, which I'm not upset about it, but I mean, it was sort of foreordained that this was going to happen. And so we've been playing together off and on, and I moved to Ventura 11 years ago now, and just made a home here. People just sort of took a liking to me. And
wait, I never knew this. What brought you to Ventura in the first place?
Oh, well, so it was love, of course. Yeah. So I met Tammy at a show up in the Central Valley. She was up there just with a friend.
I didn't know this.
Yeah, and so I met her, and it was like, just a minute, it was just like this short minute, like, wow, and we got the information number and whatever. We started talking, and I came down here to visit, and then I came down over Christmas, and it was like, well, I love it down here. This is great,
right?
And it's a longer story than we probably have time for, but yeah, basically. Came for love.
Very nice. I didn't know that very much. I just adore Tammy as well, so I totally see what brought you here.
She's all right. Story. Yeah, I mean, she's got a lot of patience.
Well, she's a teacher too, right?
Yeah. Actually, she just retired, so
she has a lot of patience.
Yeah, more a kindergarten teacher.
Oh my God, can't even imagine.
I'm sorry, I don't. Does not compute. Yeah.
So you have 2 CDs out, which we're going to get to in just a little bit. But the first one is Butterflies and Snakes. So we're going to play a song off of that right now, and it's called Love Divine.
Oh, nice.
Sky.
Nice job, Tommy. Love Divine. That is from your first CD, Butterflies and Snakes. Where was that recorded?
So that was filmed at it's now called the Alcazar Theater in Carpinteria. And if
Okay.
you watch, there was lots of local Ventura people in there.
Yeah,
Jody
name a couple of them. Because, I mean,
yeah,
they're players that everybody knows and loves here.
yeah, it was very, very, very wonderful.
So you had on drums?
Tony Cicero.
And
we had Jimmy Caleri on saxophone. We had Jody Farrell on backup vocals. We had Terry Lee Miller. You remember Terry?
Mm-hmm.
On vocals. And then Patty and myself. And then Craig Williams on the saxophone. We had Jim Simonetti on the saxophone. And then we also had Bill Ballou, which is an old friend of mine, on the organ. So good.
It was a very nice night.
Yeah.
I mean, you always sound so tight and you're always like spot on. And, you know, I guess it takes, you know, not only just God-given talent, but years and years of playing and playing live in front of people.
You know, it's so funny because sometimes I feel like it sounds so loose. And I don't know, maybe that's just me thinking that way.
It might be just you.
Yeah, but I will say, though, that that particular night was so much fun because we had so many friends around, and I did feel really comfortable. And that's one of the keys to performing well, is feeling comfortable, you know, feeling completely relaxed, like you're in the living room.
Okay, has there ever been a time when you were going to play or share the stage with somebody where you felt very nervous about doing that?
Well, not really. I'm not particularly nervous. I'm not shy at all. But when I get around somebody, like we played with Robert Cray, and I'm such a huge fan of Robert Cray's, and I was a little nervous around him. I was like, you know, but not when we went on stage. No, in fact, in a way, it sort of amps me up and gives me like go juice, you know, to do better. So, yeah,
totally get that. Let's talk about the Ventura community. And you've been a very, very integral part of bringing the blues community to the forefront. And, you know, we have Hi-Hat Entertainment, and then we had you, and you were doing these blues nights at the Tavern, I think it was. And then you moved over to Bombay, and it would be every single week you would bring an act to Ventura and then have an open mic. Yeah,
so much fun. We did it for five years. Yeah.
Yeah.
And it was great. And I think it was very good for me for my playing, because playing with different people is very instructive, and so I think it made my playing better. But I think the community really loved it. We did some great nights. We had some amazing nights with the guy from Santana came and sang with us, you know, and that night, that was amazing, unbelievable. Just I honestly, it's so funny. I don't know how it all comes together sometimes. It's just sort of like I ask somebody and they say, yeah, okay, let's do it. And it's like, oh, great.
You just have to ask.
Yeah, and that's that not very shy thing, you know. I'm not ashamed to ask somebody.
Right. So, and you're also very involved in a bunch of different projects and helping and giving a lending hand to people. I mean, if there's ever something going on, you're always one of the first people. What can we do about it? You know, let's put on a show. And what are some of your pet projects that you like to support?
Well, so you know, I did just talk about a couple of the recent ones. So I did a live stream for Food Share not that long ago, and that one I've done a couple of things with Tom Hilton before he left town. I did several events with Tom for Food Share and for some of the other projects that Tom was involved with. That group, the Camarillo. Oh gosh, I can't remember, but the Ranch House. I can't remember. There's a name for that group, but they do a bunch of great work in Camarillo. And then we did one for Carl last fall with Kelly Zerbe's a big event, and we did with Joey Delgado and Teresa James and a bunch of great artists. But really, I'll just tell you that somebody asks me and tells me there's something that needs some money or needs some help. I just want to help. You know, I think life is about helping. Music helps people, you know, and I feel that when I play. And if it, and so it's hard for me not to be the same with everything else, right? I mean, if I'm a musician and I share my music and it helps people, then it's pretty natural to want to use that to help people raise money for their event or whatever. So all of you out there, if you're doing something, hit me up. I will probably do it.
He'll be there.
I want to help.
And obviously your band members like to do it too, because you bring them right with you.
Well, I do, and sometimes I pay them.
Man, what kind of big heart you have, Tommy.
Well, I mean, you know, I got to have my band.
All right, let's do another cut. This one is I Stole the Blues is the name of it, and it was recorded at the Ventura County Blues Festival. So let's let this one roll.
Patty Marcia on the vocal.
Well, I try to be a good man, do what I think is right. I ran off with Muddy's little girl in the middle of the night. I stole the blues. I stole the blues as a matter of fact. Well, you know I stole the blues, baby. Now it's time to give it back. Well, I'm feeling kind of dirty for the things that I've done. But don't you turn your back on me, 'cause I'll steal from anyone. I stole the blues. I stole the blues as a matter of fact. Well, you know I stole the blues, baby. Now it's time to give it back. Well, I stole from Muddy Waters. I stole from Albert King. I stole from Johnny Winter. That's how I learned to sing. I stole from T-Bone Walker. It might be a sin. I stole from Jerry Garcia. Now the devil is my friend. I stole the blues. I stole the blues as a matter of fact. Well, you know I stole the blues, baby. Now it's time to give it back. Well, you know I stole the blues, baby. Now it's time to give it back. Well, you know I stole the blues. Yeah, now it's time to give it back. Thanks, guys. Appreciate it.
Nice job, Tommy.
Patty Marsh.
Yeah, that Patty Marsh, he's got some chops there. So tell me,
That's my brother.
besides, when you play together, it just sounds like you're an extension of each other, like you know what the other one's going to do, or is that just years of practicing and playing together?
With you, it's kind of spooky sometimes how that connection between my brother and I is. There'll be times when we'll be playing something and we won't have rehearsed it. We'll just like be jamming, and we'll come off with something. It'll sound like we rehearsed it for weeks, and it just happens. I don't know how it happens, but it's a beautiful thing. Yeah, it really is. Patty's a monstrous guitar player and a great singer and songwriter, and I'm honored to play with him every single night. It's just amazing.
And whenever you guys play here in town,
it's just amazing.
And whenever you guys play here in town, it's always a thrill because you guys are just that good. And I want to thank you again for asking me to help host your last fundraiser that you had for yourself. It was actually helping to defray costs for traveling to
what a night
to Memphis, right?
Yeah. What a great party that was. Wow.
Yeah. And you did pretty well this year. Tell us about that and the whole process of how that comes together.
Yeah. So for those of you who don't know what the International Blues Challenge is, it's an event that's put on every year by the Blues Foundation, which is the governing body for the Blues Hall of Fame. So it's a very legitimate situation, right? And it's held in Memphis, Tennessee. And each year, blues societies from all over the world, 16 countries this year, send groups to compete. And you basically are competing against a criteria. And so we competed as a duo, my brother and I.
Mm-hmm.
And out of 230 acts, we got into the finals.
Wow.
And in our group, that was the top 8 were in the finals. And so, the folks that played in that stage at that night were unbelievable. I mean, literally just, I still like, I'm getting goosebumps right now, literally thinking about it. It was just one of those things that I'll never forget my whole life. It was amazing. Very cool. It's been very good. People have, because of that, we have a different awareness among the blues crowd. So this record already, even though we've only put out a single and the record's not even released yet, we've had over 10,000 people look at it since Friday on Facebook. It's just like, it's unbelievable. So
yay.
Yeah, life is good.
Let's talk about the difference between your first release, Butterflies and Snakes, and the new one, Hot Coffee and Pain. What would you say were the key differences in the recording process between the two?
Well, so this one took a lot longer. Honestly, there were just life happens moments that we went in and recorded the bass tracks, and then it took over a year for us to get back in. There was some band members changes and stuff, and it just kind of to use a bad word, it was kind of festered a little bit. There was just things going on, and it was a kind of a flow kind of person, right? And so things weren't right. So we just kind of sat back, and then there was honestly money issues. The recording studio that we work at is not cheap, and but
award-winning, right?
Huh?
They're award-winning studio.
Oh yeah, no, they're unbelievable, but expensive, and rightfully so. And not complaining. Just things are just different, and you have to be patient, and this one took a while. But I think the performances are better. I think I'm singing better than I've ever sang in my life, and at 57, that's a good thing. I mean, that's like a miracle, and I'm so grateful. The record is interestingly enough, the first record we did was all our own music, and I got some advice actually from some pretty heavy hitters that I needed to do some covers. I know that sounds weird, but there's method to it, and so we recorded an old Sun House tune on this record, which is one of the early blues artists. We revved it up a little bit. That's the first track on the album. I think we're gonna be hearing a little bit of that in a minute. And then we've got another song called Congo Square, which is one that the Neville Brothers did, and then we've got a Johnny Lang tune. So none of them real popular tunes, but definitely covers. And And then we
Okay,
have
and we're
pictures.
actually going to be playing the video for the title
Oh.
track off of Hot Coffee and Pain. Do you want to tell us about that video a little bit before we roll it?
Sure. So that is all done by a couple of artists in Indonesia. I ran across them on a website, and I had an idea about doing a cartoon type of video because the artwork on the CD is sort of a cartoon, right? And so that's actually a picture of me, by the way, in my
Your
kitchen.
head in your hands.
Yeah, in my kitchen with my phone. And so I wanted to sort of emulate that in the video, right? And so I found an artist and basically just tell the story in a cartoon sort of graphic novel style, and then we made a lyric video out of this cartoon. And so I think you're gonna love it. I love it. I've watched it way too many times.
And it looks like the technique that was used makes it looks a little vintage, not like brand new. Like it has the streaks through it and everything else.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
Very well done.
No, they did a great job on it. Yeah.
Coffee this morning, hot coffee and pain. After years of being together, well, last night she walked away. When the sun came out this morning, nothing but clouds and rain. Hot coffee and pain. More beautiful than all the stars rolled into one. But that star fell from the sky. I don't even know why. All I wanna do is fall down and cry. Hot coffee this morning. Well, last night she walked away. When the sun came out this morning, nothing but clouds and rain. Hot coffee and pain. Coffee this morning, hot coffee and pain. After years of being together, well, last night she walked away. And when the sun came coffee and pain.
Oh my goodness. What a great video, Tommy. Congratulations.
Well, thank you. It turned out pretty good.
Yeah, dude. So
all
what is
things
the game
considered.
plan on promoting now since we're right smack dab in the middle of a pandemic?
Well, yeah, that's tough. So I have a publicist, and I'm working actually worldwide with the Blind Raccoon agency out of Nashville, and we got signed on a record label called Blue Heart Records out of Pennsylvania not that long ago. And so they're also very active in pushing this. We've been getting a bunch of airplay already just on the one song. All over the world, I've been getting emails like 3 or 4 a day of different places, Australia and Germany, and anyway, it's so cool.
It's so exciting.
So we're pushing forward, and I'm trying to put together a event in August. I've got a bunch of feelers out, but I'm trying to hook up with the city and maybe do something out there at the fairgrounds with those guys.
Oh, concerts in your car?
Yeah, because I got to do something. I have to do
You know,
something,
that's
so.
a great idea. That's a very good idea. We're going to follow up on that, okay?
I've been working on it, but I don't know all the folks involved, so I'm still playing with it. So I knew it was a good reason. Yeah.
All right, so you can find Crooked Eye Tommy on Facebook. It's Crooked Eye Tom. It's facebook.com/Crooked Eye Tommy. And then he's on Instagram and he's on Twitter. And then his website is crookedeyetommy.com.
Yes, all of the above.
Well, thanks for joining us for this Crooked Eye Tommy edition of the Ventura Rock Spot. And on behalf of Michelle Hoover and GWC Productions, I'm Pam Baumgardner, and we'll see you next time.